I think we're going to be really good friends. Let's get after this. All right, I'm thinking anything on the table is fair game. Am I even in the shot here? The one that got away is a little bit of a how-to instruction. It says, don't rotate the dish by hand, plug it into the stand, plug the cable into it, plug it into the router, plug it into the wall, go get your app. All right, the stand is keyed, it can only go in one way. This is the custom cable that connects to the router. That is also keyed, so it can only go in one way. Power cord wrapper could use some help. It's kind of this chintzy piece of paper. They could have just given you a Velcro strap for how much this thing costs. The power cable is also keyed, so it can only go in one way. We got a big mess of wires. This is the included satellite control cable, and it will help satellite dish control cable, and it will help rotate the dish around so that it will get the optimum view and feedback data to the Wi-Fi router, which will interface with the internet and do all kinds of wonderful stuff for you. On the bottom of the router, we have the data cable that's keyed. It can only go in one way. That's a nice deep connection to get you in there. The power cord plugs in here. Power cord only plugs in one way. It's kind of interesting that the power cord's waterproof style of connection. There's a little gasket in there. I get it, it might be a safety regulation thing, but like the whole rest of this thing, I'm sure, isn't really meant to be set outside. I'll have to take a look inside and give you an update as we move along here. Let's see if we can get this thing configured and set up. All right, folks, every RV is going to be a little bit different. What you want to do is find a hole from the outside of your RV to the inside of your RV. In my case, I've got this TV hookup right here, which means there's got to be power, which means there's got to be coax for the TV signal, which means. So let me find a hole over here on this side. Hang on. My camper has this really neat little space to put your gas grill, which means it's got a gas connection over here. And this gas connection goes through under the settee at the dinette. I'm saying fancy words, settee and dinette. So I took a nice little piece of wire and I made sure I bent the end over so that it wasn't going to pierce my gas hose. And it's running through the dinette on the inside. Let's go take a look inside. Okay, this is the inside, the underside of the settee, and you can see right down here where the gas hose storage goes. So I have the cable that I used, the piece of wire that I used to snake through, and it is attached to the other end of the control cable. And let's see if I can fish this through. Ta-da! There we go. More difficult than I wanted it to be, but not impossible. I will find a better way as time goes on and report back in a future video. So be sure to stay tuned and subscribe for that. However, we made it. We got it through. So now we plug this into the bottom of the router. Ta-da! And that will sit up nice. Let me get this bench put back together nice and neat. That was super easy to install. Probably the easiest network installation I've ever had to do. The dish aligns itself with the constellation. As you log in, you're creating your Wi-Fi access point and passphrase. And then it, finds the internet and you're online. It doesn't take long at all. When I first got it connected, it didn't have any internet at all because it hadn't found the constellation yet. I think it's cool that they call it the constellation. That's pretty neat. Once it did find the constellation, speed steadily improved over the next couple of days, hours, weeks, etc. So we went from initially about 35 megabits per second. I was really disappointed when I saw that. On our top was 130. It depends on the weather, the clouds, the time of day, the amount of users on the network. Just like all other internet does, it does the thing. It's pretty freaking cool. I like it. I got the stationary plan for now. We've got a little while left at this location. I also want to test and see what happens and report back to you guys What happens when I move this to another location while I'm on the stationary plan? They do have an RV plan. The RV plan costs more and you're deprioritized on the network. I don't like the sound of that. Like, why would I pay more and get less? But it is a month-to-month contract instead of an annual contract. Don't think it matters. I'm the kind of person that's going to be using this thing no matter what, because if I'm on the RV plan and I'm back at my domicile, then I'll just use it there. Why have more than one? Maybe I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Either way, stay tuned for more. There'll be more videos on Starlink in the future, as well as other wonderful RV stuff as we continue this journey down the path of living for a living. There's a video right over here on top of my face I think you'll like next. We'll see you in the next one.